way, Mendez!
These colors don't run, Kian. Wow. Good afternoon. In the words of the immortal Glynis Healy, hi, friends! And in the words of Samir Faza, hello, thieves. So, here we are, at the end of a long day, a longer commencement week of what ironically seems like the shortest 4 years of my life. As Einstein said, time is relative. I know it's hot out and you're all itching to get your diplomas and get to lunch, so I'll keep this brief. You've already heard today and over the course of this week from Harvard's most wonderful and knowledgeable people. In her baccalaureate address, President Faust advised us to get to our destination first and look for a parking spot later. That being said, the car blocking the end of the quad driveway is ours, and we'll move it after the ceremony's over. And you can send the bill to University Hall. From what I could make of his speech, Kian spoke about Downton Abbey, Will and Kate, and his little university outside of London. At least that's all I got from his accent. While living with Julian for 3 years has been helpful, I'm by no means fluent. All jokes aside, I'd like to talk to you today a little bit about my story with Cabot House. In fact, my history with Cabot goes back much further than you might expect. In the fall of my first year at Harvard, fresh off the heels of my freshman talent show appearance, I signed up to perform at something called Quadstock, Harvard's premier 3-hour outdoor music festival, Kuhn Stein Club. You've never heard of it? Fine. Well, anyways, I did my thing. I got up, I played some wagon wheels, some Goo Goo Dolls. I even did an acoustic cover of Super Bass by Nicki Minaj that was good enough to earn me enemies for life. Please forgive me, Jasmine Panton. Anyways, after I finished my set, one of the organizers approached me. She said she was a senior in Cabot. That was great! You're definitely going to get quadded now, she said. And I had just enough prior knowledge in my head to think, yeah, right, as I shook her hand, looked her right in the eye and said, psh, yeah, right. So spoiler alert, but flash forward a couple months to Strauss, where I was waiting nervously with my blocking group to hear the news of our housing assignment. Spirits were high. We had Jan, fresh off of 3 gap years, a newly minted 23-year-old, to keep our room stocked with beer in the coming years. And we had Michael Walker, whose hair is so big because it's full of secrets. And then it happened. The knock on the door. C-A-B-O-T, welcome to the family. And I thought, oh no. My Harvard experience is over before it began. Cabot was distant. Cabot was small. Cabot was ranked 11 out of the 12 Harvard houses. None of the houses were as marginal as Cabot. It was like being sent to Harvard Siberia. I called my mom. I was devastated. Really. See, prior to attending Harvard, I was kind of a loner. I had maybe 3 real friends. Despite spending 6 years at the same school in DC, I was just perpetually the new kid, brace-faced in all my yearbook photos, forgotten in group settings, and devastatingly awkward around girls. And it wasn't for lack of trying. I really just couldn't find a place where I felt like I fit in. Arriving at Harvard, however, everything was great. Stepping into the yard as a freshman, I felt the unity of our class as we ate meals together in Annenberg, pulled all-nighters writing expos papers in Lamont, and desperately searching for that one person with an ID good enough to get us a handle of Rubinoff for freshman formal. Again, shout out to Jan Bach-Stiegel. Thanks. But life was good. I had friends. I lived in a freshman entryway with Sam and the rest of Candidate B who were nice enough to tolerate my antics. Nobody knew about my headgear phase, and I met a girl who thought I was just a little bit interesting.
Aww.
Amid a web of casual interactions, shout out to Emma Smith, but amid a web of casual interactions, I felt comfortable. So when I got that letter and an awkward, sweaty hug from a guy in a fish suit, I thought to myself, great, I've peaked freshman year. It's all downhill from here. But something was different when I moved into Cabot the next year. The things that I thought I'd be feeling, that Cabot was marginal, that Cabot was isolated, that Cabot was somehow worse than all the other houses, just didn't feel quite right as I spent more time here. Maybe it was because of Rakesh and Stephanie keeping us in a state of happy satiety with our open houses and massive Festivus spread. But what I found in Cabot, in the dining hall, on the shuttle, or over pots of tea at brain break, were the people that I've been looking for my entire life. From the swole to the swell, from Rakesh's citizen leaders to Cabot's almost Class A felons, free Renzo. The beautiful to Jake Montgomery on the shuttle at 11 a.m. Indeed, Cabot has enabled us to do the things we thought we could not do when we were first assigned to the quad. We were engineers. We were lightweight rowers. We were MD, PhD program applicants. We were men specifically named Robert Nathaniel Hawthorne. We overcame the distance. We overcame the inconvenience, or we transferred to Elliott. Shout out to, I'll skip this one. In closing, Rakesh often speaks of the transformative power of a liberal arts education. But I've had my own theory on the side. Because from where I stand, all I can see is Cabot House, thanks to that tent. Home for generations to Harvard's most diverse, Harvard's pioneers, and at sometimes Harvard's most marginalized. Look at Cabot House, where we've all lived and worked, laughed and cried. There's a community here that runs along these bricks, that transcends these walls, that fills these rooms with the joy and love that connected us and bound us. This spirit springs from the well that it's in all of you assembled here today. We built this community. With Stephanie and Rakesh and the tutors as our guides, we built this house. And next year, on the stage, things very well may be different, and in fact, they just might be. Because it's inside of you all that lies that strength, the know-how, the passion, and the love that's made this house a home for me for the past 3 years. I'd like to end by saying how incredibly honored I am to be here and to have the privilege. Goodness, I know what it feels like now. Thank God I have these sleeves. How incredibly honored I am to be here and to have the privilege to speak in front of you all, who I've come to admire and to respect. We are all so lucky to be amongst family and friends, house masters, house administrators, and tutors. I said I wouldn't cry. You've all done so much to support our growth here in Cabot and at Harvard. We love you and we thank you. I know everyone else has ended their speech by invoking Semper Cor, but Kian was making a little dig at America earlier today, so I'd like to end by quoting one of my favorite people here at Harvard, Dean Rakesh Khurana. And so if you join me with the immortal chant of "No Cabot, no America!" Thank you very much.
Yeah!